Yesterday as well, the audio is a tiny bit fogged because the funny thing is, I think in the video I've actually also said like, well, I hope that it is gonna be fine, and I haven't checked it and whatnot, and it wasn't a good idea. I should have done that. Yeah, just to let you know, it's a little tiny bit better, or worse, as people apparently say, I guess. But yeah, just to let you know, I'm gonna see you.
So, this one's gonna be again about the Icarus Deception by Seth Godin. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be hopefully valuable, and it's hopefully gonna also be something that you are interested in, looking forward to, and all those things. But yeah, I'm gonna see you after the intro. As always. Please check out the description. Or that description, actually. Because there's a lot of free things that you can get. First of all, there is the link to the podcast, because this is actually a podcast and a YouTube quote-unquote show. On the other hand, you're also going to get 3 things, as I said. For example, the free PDFs of the things that I've highlighted in this episode or in other episodes. If I've highlighted something, then it is going to be in a tiny PDF. You can download it and print it and share it and do whatever with it. And there is everything in this that I've gone through in this episode, which is pretty amazing, because some people like to listen, therefore we're having a podcast. Some people like to watch, therefore we're having the YouTube videos. And some other people like to read things, and this is why there's also the free PDF. And there's as well some music, so if you do want to have some background music in this video, then please also check out the 3rd link, or it's actually I think the 4th link, but 3rd section, something like that. And there's also just different tracks to choose from, and they're all I think an hour long, so you should be fine. Everything should be fine, should be good to go. And yeah, enjoy the episode, and I'm gonna see you. And with that being said, hello and welcome back to the next episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. And I'm really happy and pumped to be here. I do hope that the audio is fine. I haven't checked actually before, which is not something that I can kind of suggest people to do, because it's really dumb. You gotta always have to check whether everything is okay or not before you actually start the work, because it actually also happened to me, like after recording, just looking up the recording itself, being completely broken. Especially when it comes to the voice and or the sound, which it's a cable and it is there, and I'm just playing with sometimes and whatnot, so it's a little bit vulnerable, I'd say. But yeah, anyway, we're gonna go ahead with the summary from the civis.org site. I might say civis.com pretty often, since it's quite, I would say, common, but it is not a .com site. So I'm gonna read. When those in power want to ensure that the masses buy what they sell, they shame those who apparently can't afford to buy what they need to fit in. And if I'm understanding this correctly, it is basically about, okay, maybe you shouldn't sell whatever you're selling on such a high price, because it might not be something that's so necessary. And if you're just selling it at this price, then people might not be able to just buy something else that they actually need. Which is actually quite a good way to go from selfish thoughts to, okay, what are the customers saying? What are the people saying? What are the people in need of? What do my customers need? And all those things, like, important, I would say. It's just important. And light is also important. Therefore, we're going to have a little bit more light in here, just because I can. Just because I can. Edmund Burglar said, I guess, the megalomaniac pleasure of creation produces a type of elation with, or which cannot be compared with the experience by other mortals. Megalomaniac. What does megalomaniac mean? A person who suffers delusions of their own power or importance. The megalomaniac pleasure of creation produces a type of elation. I don't even know what elation also means. Happiness, which cannot be compared with the experience by other mortals. I don't actually know what this all means, but you might know, and you might think that it is something amazing. The community responds to a courageous act by seeking to shame the courageous one. Yes, most often, yeah, quite. Shame is not the soul killer. The artist then combines courage with a fierce willingness to refuse to accept shame. Yes, because I think in the first beginning we all make something that we can't possibly be proud of. Most often. I don't want to point out it is most often the case. Of course, there's also going to be some situations, there's going to be some people, there's going to be some whatever
where they really say like, okay, I've done this for the first time and I think it is actually pretty good, and I would actually share it with other people. But as I said, most often we are just writing something, we are recording something, we're talking about something, and the first few times it's not going to be as good as it could be. And I do really have to say, and do really also think that it is completely the case for me and the whole podcast, because like the first few episodes, they were just really shit. Like it was really uninteresting, even though to some degree, and on some days I do also have to say like I'm such an uninteresting talker in terms of like my voice being uninteresting. In terms of like, okay, when you listen to it, you're probably gonna get really bored, quite. But I still really think that I'm improving, maybe every single day, maybe every week, maybe every month, maybe every year. And in the end, it's gonna be good. And in the end, I'm probably gonna be a different communicator than just before, I would say. Maybe I'm gonna be a better communicator. Maybe I'm gonna be a worse communicator. I actually don't know. But I would rather say that I'm then gonna be a better communicator, because I don't know. If you communicate a lot, then I guess that you're gonna be better afterwards. Unless you're actually doing things in the wrong way all the time, then it's not gonna be that good in the end. Quite. Make art that moves the audience of your choice. Yes. Just the few people, the 10 people, the 20 people, the 30 people. Not necessarily a million people. Only a self-negating artist reads his Amazon reviews and the Twitter feedback on his work. He will learn nothing and will amplify his lizard brain's certainty of his worthlessness. Yes, quite. Unless, and I would therefore say it's not the case for every single review. Having a look at the reviews that are like 3 stars and whatnot, which are not like just 1 star or 0 stars or 10 stars, let's assume that those people that are really in the middle, they might just know what they're talking about, or they just might know what, or I think their feedback might be relatively valuable, because they found something good and they also found something bad, you know, because the completely full star people, they just like you already. You don't have to listen to them. The really like 1-star people, like I don't really know if they're ever gonna like you. And the 3-star people, they're maybe gonna be like, well, there's something that I like and there's something that I don't like, and they probably also point it out, I assume, by thinking about it. With our true friends, we let down our guard, set aside our armor and open ourselves up. We are vulnerable and trusting. Yes, that's totally the case. That's totally the case, you know, because with good friends, we are most often talking about quite everything and anything and in any way we want to. And there's not going to be a lot of censoring. There's not going to be a lot of, I said that and this and whatnot, and this person's then going to think that I'm just whatnot. No, not really. It's more on ease, I would say. In school, we teach kids to earn high scores and to comply and to meet the standards of their teachers and parents. But what if those things aren't part of your agenda? Then you're probably fucked and you're gonna have bad grades. Quite. But yeah, it's totally the case. And I've been talking about it in yesterday's episode as well. Oh no, it's gonna be today's one. Quite. No, it's gonna be yesterday because this one's gonna be for tomorrow. Yeah. Which means that I have been watching again, or quote unquote reacting, I don't like to say react, to a Seth Godin video, or a video where Seth Godin was staring in it. And he was also talking about like compliance, factory workers and all those things. And I therefore also just explained the whole agenda or the whole thing that he talks about it in that sense. Reality TV offers us the dream of fame and at the expense of our dignity. Well, yeah. Yes. Is it actually what I mean it is? Statelessness, nobleness, nobility, majesty. Yes, really the case. 4 common mistakes. Busy is the same as brave. Yeah, I think it is a really fucked up thing that nowadays being busy is like a cool thing and being busy is like the optimal thing to do, but no, it is not. Being busy is being busy and being productive is being productive. Being busy should not really be compared to being productive because it's not the same thing, or it's like kind of the opposite thing. Quite. Not really, but quite. A mentor is going to change your life. As Seth Godin also said in a lot of
different videos and articles and whatnot, mentors are not scalable. There might be one mentor for one person, but there's not going to be a mentor for 100,000 people, whatnot. So we should rather go for heroes, because heroes can be listened to, heroes can be watched, and heroes can be watched by a lot of people, and heroes can also be listened to by a lot of people. Heroes means that I'm going to, for example, take Seth Godin as my hero. I'm going to take it as a person, and I'm going to consume everything that this person is putting out, because I can. You know, whether it is the words, whether it is the speech, whether it is the videos, I'm going to listen to all of these things, which I've actually kind of did. Like, I haven't read everything, certainly not, really not, but I've listened to just so many different podcast episodes. I think nearly every one of those that he put out, and I've also watched like nearly every single video that I could have found of him, basically. And so we should rather go for heroes rather than mentors. Waiting to get picked is the next step. No, we should just do something. There is a secret and you will soon learn it. And there is no secret, and we should just do things, I would say. When I'm feeling the resistance, I'm thrilled, because resistance is the shadow of art. No art, no resistance. Resistance in terms of this feeling, and here just does he often talk about it? You know, not necessarily, but he sometimes talks about that, and it is like feeling some sort of a resistance, I would say. It might not be kind of the exact quote-unquote translation, since resistance refers to, I think, Pressfield's book, I guess, or work. And I think it's about just feeling something, you know, feeling something of, okay, I'm not quite sure if this is going to work out. I'm not quite sure if I like that. I'm not quite sure. I would say this is the feeling. And as I'm just thinking about it, just before I've started to record this episode, I thought about starting a stream once in a while, or once again, after quite some while. Because I thought, well, maybe it is better. Maybe it just makes sense. Maybe this is something that I should be doing. Maybe this is the thing that I kind of, I don't want to say should be doing, but maybe it makes sense. You know, maybe there is some people that are interested in me watching some YouTube videos. Could be the case. I don't really know, but I would see. But I think about it as like, well, I'm not quite sure if this is what I think will work. This is not, I don't really know if it is what I also want to do, if this is something that I like to do, if this is not a lot of quote unquote pressure, but I think it is quite resistance, you know, in the end. Eve client photo. Notice where client is facing. Where a client's facing. This is not a man intent on self-harm. It is someone comfortable with the void, eager to see what he will discover. And once I realized that the cold sweat, the palpitations, the willy stalling, the insecurity and the fear were part of making art, I was able to relax into my work. And this is what I was talking about before. Insecurity, fear, palpitations, what I don't know what it is. Strong, irregular heartbeat, okay, cold sweat, and all those things. When resistance shows up, I know that I'm winning. Not my fight against it, but my fight to make art. The resistance is not something to be avoided, it is something to seek out. Effort is rarely correlated with how much the audience cares. I think this is an incredible one. It's a really incredible one, and it's just one that everybody, I think, should know. It doesn't necessarily mean that if you put a lot of effort into whatever you're doing, it doesn't really mean that the audience is also gonna like it. I guess this is what he's willing to say there, or what he's saying there. But it is definitely the case. It really is. Like, I could put so much work into a certain piece and think, wow, this is gonna be that one, this is gonna be huge, this is gonna be amazing. But in the end, it is not. In the end, it is not, and most often it is actually the videos or those videos that I've recorded where I didn't really believe that they're actually good. These are the videos that actually are liked by quite some people, or are at least watched by quite some people. And this is something interesting. This is really something interesting. Like, effort is rarely correlated with how much the audience cares. You could just make a YouTube video, or you could just make a video with your phone,
recording yourself, and it could be just better perceived by the people that you're trying to serve, that you're trying to do something for, than high production value, whatever video with cameras and multiple setups and lights and whatnot. It is just in general really overrated, just the whole quality aspect, the quote unquote quality aspect, since of course there is some, and I would like to refer to it as technical quality, having a good camera, having a good microphone, having a good this and that. It is to some degree important. It is to some degree important. It's not really that important, since if it is a good video and if it is something that's amazing, then people are also going to watch it. And people are also going to like doing that. You know? Even though it is like bad quality, even though it is like not the best microphone that you're using, even though it might not be the best camera that you're using. So I do really believe that it is something just truly important to point out and talk about for once in a second, you know? The dangerous addiction is to keep expanding the audience until we find people who hate our work. And then our reflex is to listen to those people, to the haters, to the exclusion of those we sought to serve in the first place. Which is fucked up, if you think about it in that way. Like, it really kind of is. I do think two questions. I think today is going to be the two questions of today. And the two questions of today are going to be, do you put a lot of unnecessary work into things which you believe makes them good? And what is it? If you're doing this, what is it? And the other question is, do you listen to the right people? Do you listen to the people that you should be listening to? These are the questions. These are the questions of today. Let's go ahead. Make good art is Neil Gaiman's prescription for whatever ails you. If it is not working, then make better art. If you don't know how to make better art, learn. Train yourself to ship. Ship small art. Then ship medium art, and then ship world-changing, scary, change your underwear art. I like that, but I also just in general like to think about it as art. And for me, it might actually mean like, what I like most about the videos that I'm doing is, I think, the talking part. Sometimes it's a little bit of a fucked up thing, and sometimes it's a little bit of a thing like, I don't really like it sometimes. In terms of like, when I notice that I'm not good at it, then I don't like it, which is actually the case for quite everything that I've been doing. When I'm not good at it, then I just don't like it quite. Which is actually quite a funny thing, because I haven't been that good in the whole YouTube game and the whole social media game up to this point. But something that I hate the most is the whole editing part. But the thing that I want to get to is, do I really have to edit it? Do I really have to just make certain things that I'm doing? Do I really have to do this? Or should I just make cool videos? Should I just, I don't know, do I have to kind of just prepare myself and then talk about something? Or is it quote unquote enough to just have my fun and go through something? Quite. I don't know. Quiet your cleverness. Because maybe we are not as clever as we think we are. The trick isn't coming up with an interpretation of events that allows you to maintain your worldview. It is to accept what happens without stopping to interpret it according to your biases. And yes, it is all about fucking perspective. It is all about how we are viewing things, basically, because there might be something good happening and I can view it as something bad. And there might be something bad happening and I can view it as something good, or I at least can find something about it that it is quote unquote good. You know, because like, of course, if it is something really severe, then you probably can also find something good about it, but sometimes it does not feel to be the right thing, I guess, to do so. The ability to see to see the market and the technology and the talent as it is, instead of how you want it to be or fear it to be, is one of the secret skills of the successful creator. The ability to see the market and technology and the talent as it is. I think especially your talent, like what are you good at? What should you be doing? You know, maybe I'm actually not a good talker. I kind of think that I am, but I might not be. So maybe I should be doing something different. Maybe I'm actually going to start a stream today. I'm going to test it. You know, because like, why not?
Why not? And the last one for today is going to be, when you're wrong, the instinct is to blame the universe, not your worldview. We rarely want to surrender our framework for how things work or question our assumptions. And yes, this is totally the case. We like to blame other things, and we like to just not work on ourselves, and we like to do everything so that everything is going to be easier for us, basically. But yeah, I think that this is going to be it for this episode. I think that this is going to be it for today. So I wish you the best health, of happiness, and also success, and also hope that you're going to remind yourself and you're going to be remembered, which basically means your legacy, and basically means just being a nice person and then being remembered as a nice person. And yeah, with that being said, I'm hopefully going to see you the next time. And 3 other questions that I'm having for you are, why are you here? What are you trying to change, and what is bothering you the most? And these 3 questions are hopefully going to show you your purpose and maybe even a business idea. And yeah, with that being said, I'm hopefully going to see you the next time. Bye and thank you.